This is my Girls Gone Scrappy mini trade album for September. This goes to Jenny Potter. I've made this an envelope pocket page album. I've bound it with utility ties and I've used fibers on the binding. This is chipboard that I inked up, and I used hologram highlights from Stampin' Up! As an embossing powder on that. This is a button from my mother's button box with a little piece of bling on the inside. One of my little mini books that I always like to add to my mini albums. This is a lollipop flower made out of acetate. The base is a flower that I've made out of a doily. Laura De La Rosa on her blog has instructions on how to do that. And I can't remember where I learned to do the acetate lollipop flower, but it was a YouTube video that I saw. The first page has an envelope pocket for picture or journaling in this area, and then a picture or journaling in this area. And this is actually an envelope, and you can put pictures or journaling sheets inside this envelope. And then it has a neat little closure. This is the first pocket page. This tag, I put chipboard flourishes that I double embossed with clear embossing powder, and I have distressed all the edges. This is the area for journaling, and I did emboss. I stamped this and embossed on the back of this little tag. Most of these papers are K & Company papers from just varied collections that they have. This is the first tag that goes inside the pocket. This is a Prima flower and a button from my mother's button box. This tag, you can slip pictures or journaling pages underneath this piece of chipboard, and it has a square paper clip also to use to clip items to. And this is the tag I made for that page. And again, this is K & Company papers. On the back of the tag, you have another little area. I've embossed black embossing, used black embossing powder on that stamp. And this is the tag that I've attached to that page. And it slips right inside this little pocket. The back of that, I put a piece of cardstock to insert tags into. This is Stays On opaque white that I used to stamp that image on. Here's my little Gibson Girl. I like to use those gals. And these are tags that I made. I usually make tags the size out of manila folders, and I cut them to size and shape that fit the pages where I want them. And then I distress them and I add embellishments to them. And I love this tag on tag look. This is a vintage album that has a vintage look to it. This is a piece of chipboard that came from an album. This is a top note shape, and this was a K & Company album, and I got several of these chipboard pieces, and I didn't want to use it as an album, so I use them as pages in an album. This is a photo corner. You can slip pictures or journaling entries or whatever. And this is the tag I made for that page. And this says, "Stop and Dance in the Flowers." And I tucked that little tag in that little photo corner. And on the back, we have another little area where you can tuck pictures or journaling pages. I made this little tag. I added these little stamped embellishments. And this is like an old ad. Again, I made this out of just cardstock, K & Company cardstock. Just cut it to size so it would fit on this little page. I added this little piece of embellishment, this little fleur de lis. This is an acetate page that I made. I have used eyelets on all of these pages to make them more secure, so if someone looks at this page, you can turn it and you can won't harm the pages. And these are little photo corners that I made in the corner of this acetate page. And these are the tags that I made to insert in there. And of course you can put photos or whatever suits in the corners there. This is the tag for the back of that page. You tuck that up in that photo corner. This is my folio. I always like to insert a folio in every album. This is your area for pictures that you could use. And I always think you might want a journal on the back or not. And so that little belly band is permanently fixed on that pocket page. This is a piece of chipboard that I've used copper embossing powder on double layers to make it nice and bright and shiny. And I put a little piece of bling in the middle of that. This is the tag that goes in there. Again, I've embossed this with a copper embossing double embossed. Add a little piece of bling at the top. This is a little tag that goes into that photo corner, and I've embossed on that tag. Use the copper embossing again. This is the tag that I've inserted in that area. And on the other side of this, this is an embellishment out of the Que Sera Sera collection, and I fixed it to a piece of acetate that I distressed, so it could be a little pocket, a little area for this tag. And I made this little tag and added these little prima flowers, and that's the back of that tag. And these are embellishments from the Que Sera Sera collection that I put on that tag, and that little tag goes back into that pocket. You'll see on the back of this page I have my little Gibson Girl again. This is chipboard that I've inked up and affixed to this corner pocket for inserting pictures for journaling pages. This is another one of the acetate lollipop flowers that I have so enjoyed making. And a little tag on tag look. I distressed all the edges of this. I wanted it to have a vintage look. This is a flower page, and I cut these pieces of acetate and made the little pockets for these pages. And the picture that goes on that page, or the tag that goes on that page for pictures or journaling. This is another little pocket for photos or whatever, mementos. And this is the tag that goes in that side. Again, the tag on tag look I just love. I distressed the edges of this flower and added a little button. I don't think that came from my mom's button box. And here's another one of those photo corners. You can insert items in there. This is the last pocket page of this book. This is a little piece of chipboard that I inked up several times with gold ink, and then I triple embossed it with clear embossing powder to give it a lot of depth and a lot of strength. On the back, this is Ranger Distressed Embossing Powder. I love the way that looks. This is a little page for journaling, and that tucks under that ribbon and that flower. And this is the tag for inserting in this page. I've embellished. I've tried to give it a little bit of an antique look. This is actually the top of another tag. The tag was quite long, but I love the top. I love to use that look. And this is the back. I've done some clear embossing on the back. It can be used for pictures or journaling, or whatever. And this is the back of that pocket. Again, this is a piece of acetate. I made the corner. I inked it up on one side with alcohol inks, and then on the other side I distressed it with StazOn and stamped with StazOn. This is a Stampin' Up! Stamp, and made the corner. This is just a vintage looking picture. I used Velma's method on these flowers, and this is the tag that goes in this page. This is French script from Stampin' Up! And these are embellishments from the Que Sera Sera collection. And this is the last page. I have this little pocket tucked on the last page, and these are the tags for that pocket. I've used Prima flowers again. I just love these colors on this, and I stamped over this paper, this cardstock. I just like that stamp over look. And these were embellishments that I cut out of some cardstock, the Que Sera Sera cardstock. I sure hope that my Girls Gone Scrappy buddy enjoys her September trade album. Thank you for watching.